and just being good to one another.
The people at the top collaborate, and the people that are at the bottom compete.
Find yourself, be happy, and good things will happen.
Justice for Taco Bell.
It was everywhere.
Which I've come close to freezing to death a couple times. That one's super pleasant.
What?
Are you serious?
It can't hurt walking around in life thinking that you're the man.
Yeah. You guys are doing a good thing here. This is very good.
I genuinely love this conversation.
I love the Motive Podcast.
Welcome back to the Motive Podcast. I'm your host, Leo Kosach. Guys, we were off for Thanksgiving last week. Happy to be back. When we're off, by the way, like we take off some holidays, I feel like it's like an eternity for me. Like I'm just waiting to upload another episode. So we're happy to be back. Like it feels like that was like it feels like forever ago, our last episode, when it's really just we took 1 week off. But anyway, we're here. Starting the month of December off strong. No Kyle though. Kyle, again, wish you could be here, but whatever. No. Kyle, hope you're doing well. And guys, joining us today, the owner and founder of the Fitness Factory in Westchester, Pennsylvania, Mr. Tyler Haines. Tyler, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. This is a cool setup you got going on here.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I like the dollhouse that you can't see.
Yeah, the audience, I feel like people always talk about this on the pod. Like the audience can't even see the dollhouse. Maybe there'll be a reveal one day.
There should be. You got a math problem over there. Friday 15, some tally marks.
Oh yeah.
That's good, man. So my question for you, the first question here, what made you decide to start podcasting?
It's a great question. I feel like we've talked about a ton on the podcast. Like, so I'll give you I'll give you the full answer.
Yeah,
for me personally, I was at I feel like when I started this, I was at this is 100% true. Like I was at a completely different time, like in my life. Like this like 100% like changed my life, like 100%. Like
nice.
Just, anyway, when I started this, it was November, like over 2 years ago now. And I was just like at like a really low point. Like I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was like, it was kind of like the same repetition of life. Like it was like coming off. So like, I feel like I lost so many like relationships and friendships over like COVID. Like COVID, it was a struggle for sure. And I feel like I didn't realize it was a struggle in the time. But once like I got out and was like, all right, I got to get through like obviously I'm still in high school. So at the time,
what grade were you in?
COVID hit when I was in 7th grade in middle school. And I loved middle school. I had
you
a
were
blast.
7th grade, March.
Yep.
And you didn't go back until 9th grade when you were in high school, or?
No, so 8th grade, like halfway through the year, they started like doing, again, just craziness. It was like Zoom. It was like half the school. It was 2 cohorts. So like cohort A would be in school on Monday, Tuesday, and then the other half of the grade would be in on Wednesday, Thursday, and then everyone would be virtual Friday, whatever. That's wild. But anyway, just I didn't realize how much like COVID affected me till it was like, all right, I came into high school 9th grade. I was like, this is like a reset. Like I'm gonna be good. All my friendships are gonna like come back. Like it's gonna be back, and that just didn't happen. I feel like once that didn't happen, freshman year, I was just like, yo, what? Like it really just like hit me then. I feel like
that was the switch.
Yeah. And then like I struggled sophomore year. I was like at a lull. Like I just wasn't enjoying. I wasn't like finding any like passion. Like I've always been passionate about music. I had music. I play and whatever. But other than that, like in terms of just relationships and whatever, I was just I was at a loss. So my boy Kyle here, we were like he was like one of the only kids that I would like talk to during lunch, and like we'd go into this little practice like piano room in the school, which is hilarious.
Were you allowed to be in there?
Yeah, we were. All right. And it was like this little small room, and we would just go in there, and it was like an escape from the school, and like I could just like jam. I was like in my opinion, music is one of if not like the only thing that brings people together, because it's just like it's just universal. But anyway, just music, and we just bonded and whatever. We got close in that room. I feel like I'm giving you like the super long story.
Dude, keep it coming. Keep it coming.
But it was so I like grew into, so like every night I'd do like a little like workout, just like a bunch of body weight like exercises, and I would always listen to the podcasts. Like even so, I was like listening to Joe Rogan one night, and for my music stuff, I kind of had like the basic recording stuff down here. I had the laptop, I had like some mics, But anyway, I was like, I kind of have the gear. I'm listening to podcasts. I'm like, no one else has a podcast.
Yeah.
Like, I'd love to talk to people. Like, because again, after COVID, it was like, I hadn't been talking, like, that was like lost. And I feel like in general, like for our generation, like with so much social media, I do feel like the in-person, like one-on-one conversation, like is getting, it's not lost, but like it's harder. Like, especially amongst kids among our age, 100%.
For sure. It's fizzling out.
yeah.
100%. Even though how connected everybody is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Yep. But anyway, so I was just like, I texted him. I know the exact time we talked about, 12:58 in the morning after midnight. I was like, yo, we got to start a podcast. This is on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
And I think we like split the call. He was like, dude, whatever. He was just like, yeah. And we split the cost, like startup costs. Like we ordered these mics. We ordered like a couple more cords. All the basics, we split the cost. I ordered like same day delivery. So like literally, like we could not wait.
Yeah.
And then, we figured it out. I like made all our accounts, passwords to start it up. We had like our basic plan. Like, all right, we set 2 years ago. We're gonna film an introduction episode with just me and him, talking about we're here. This is what we're doing. And like I was scared at first, and just again, like there was nothing left to lose at that point in my life.
Yeah.
And I was just like, go for it. And we were just like, we're gonna do an episode every week. Let's get a guest. And of course, the question there, it's just me and him. We're like, all right, let's say we don't have 100 friends we can just call up right away. But it's like, I was just like, I always knew that I was going to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're still figuring it out.
Well,
so.
I feel like it shows a testament to you taking control, right? Which is tough to do at a young age, let alone, 7th, 8th, 9th grade, right? Being brave enough to suck at something new is something that I say a lot. And, kudos to you, bro. That's
yeah,
good
bro.
shit.
100%.
That's a good story. It's funny because, COVID hit your story, and to kind of tie it all in, COVID hit my story too. So I was out. I was actually very, very different experiences in COVID. I was out west in California, working out there, and working a normal job, and COVID hit, and my mom actually got sick and was in the hospital for a little while. And that told me, I was like, dude, you know what? I can't do this. Like, we almost even flew home to say, to see her and stuff in the hospital, but that would have been crazy, even trying to get into the hospital. So then I was like, you know what? I don't want anyone to feel like the, helplessness or the hopelessness that I feel right now, with my mom not being as healthy as she could be. So I was like, you know what? I'm done. Gonna go ahead and get a personal training certification over the weekend. I finished it in like 2 days, right? And then I went to the first ever gym that I actually coached other people at. Right. I was out there, and that was a really good experience. And then from then on, I just totally fell back in love with sports and training, and taking a little bit of hiatus there for a little while, just figuring out master's degree, moving. Trying to see what the whole adulting world looks like. So that's kind of how I got into training, which, here we are now having a business, in the gym and wellness space. So it's pretty funny that, but COVID kind of, impacted us in, I would say, a positive way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So even though the original underlying factor was, you were looking for relationships, right? That connection, that community piece, and, me, I'm trying to help, other people get healthier. You know what I mean? So that's a really cool story.
Yeah. Yeah. Like in COVID, like again, it's like, I feel like you got to look at everything in life this way to an extent, but like COVID was a benefit for me because it put me in a spot so low where I went up, like, and that's where we're at. Like everything's going to happen. Like, for a reason, and it's like it's always there. So
it's almost like a desperation throw. You know what I mean? Like, what can I do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where can I go? Where can I put my energy into? And no, man, I think definitely you deserve a lot of praise and a lot of kudos to get yourself to where you're at now at such a young age. It's pretty cool to see.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, you obviously you as well. But like getting into the story.
Yeah.
So like. You grew up around here. You went to Great Valley High School. Yep. How was life as like a kid playing sports? Like, how was school? All that good stuff.
That's truthfully all it was for me, man. Is I was just a big athlete growing up. focused on football and wrestling, and then
Okay.
found lacrosse in a later age after dealing with a bunch of concussions and stuff. My parents didn't want me to play contact sports anymore. Tried to play baseball, was absolutely terrible at it. Like I fielding, right, throwing, catching, all that stuff is good, but you put me in the batter's box and I have no idea what to do. I just couldn't see the ball. So ended up playing lacrosse junior and senior year at Great Valley, and then went to University of Hartford in Connecticut, did a semester there, and realized that the sport wasn't for me, the area wasn't for me, and then took the hard decision, truthfully, and took a hit to the pride a little bit. Came back from University of Hartford, did a semester at Delaware County Community College, and then I've ended up at Westchester. And I got my undergrad at Westchester in finance and economics. Actually, it wasn't even in like exercise science, which like everybody always asks me that. Everybody's always like, "Well, did you study this? Did you study that?" And I was a finance and economics major in my undergrad, and then I graduated from Eastern with my master's in management and leadership development. So growing up in gyms and doing all that stuff and kind of pairing my education together has kind of brought me to where I'm at today. And it's funny to see, because if you would have asked me during that time, I was always, I can't wait till I get older, or I can't wait till I turn 16 so I can drive, I can't wait till I turn 18, or I can't wait till I turn 21. But if you ask me now, everything that I've done from, we'll call it, freshman year of college up until now, I use, right, in my own business, and, the experiences, the knowledge, the trainings and stuff. But back then I was like, dude, what am I doing? Like, I hate this, you know what I mean? But like, it's funny to see now looking back that you have to take those steps, right? You have to take, you have to take a step back, 2 steps forward, and whatever it looks like at any kind of transitional period or change or anything like that. So it's funny to see how everything kind of ties together when you look at the big picture.
Yeah, 100%. So did you like Great Valley overall? Were you just like an average school kid?
Dude, no, I didn't like it at all. I didn't like it at all. I loved hanging out with my friends. We had a great time, messing around in between classes and this, that, and the other thing. But school was just not my thing. Like, I was not good at it. I didn't want to be good at it. All I cared about was, chasing girls and playing sports. You know what I mean? Like, that was the only thing that I was really focused on. And it wasn't until, I came back and did, my first semester at Delaware County Community College, where I, really started to take school as serious as I did sports, right? And I tried to, transition or, tried to implement the different thought processes and mindsets that I had towards sports, but apply them to school, right? Like, how can I challenge myself to get an A, or, submit this, or what does extra work look like in school versus the sport, right? You're in the gym late nights, right? You're in the library late nights. You have to kind of do that stuff. So no, I definitely didn't, take school seriously until I would say my junior year of college, and, really kind of realized that, sports were not my ticket anywhere, and it wasn't, anything more than I had to kind of, for lack of a better term, nut up or shut up, and deal with that stuff. So, but no, I also think too, like, I mean, I'm only, 29, turning 30 here, not too far removed from school, but there's been a lot of changes. I think the way that the school was ran when I was there is a lot different than the way that the school is ran now and the way that it was before me, so like, seeing that and kind of having an outside perspective and outside view, I can kind of see why I didn't enjoy it as well. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it was, great school, have some great memories, right? Stuff like that, but it definitely, I enjoyed my later years for sure more than high school. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, like, school it's like, so I thrive off of the connection because again I'm thrown into classrooms with 30 people and you're around like for me like I love the opportunity of connection and again with COVID I didn't realize like since you're 4 years old like where you can't even think you're in school so like when it was just taken away like you don't realize how much it literally changes your life like not being around kids your age like every day of the week like and that's like it's horrible like you realize like I guess some kids loved it. Like some kids just love sitting in their basement and just like freaking sitting on the video games. That was the worst thing ever for me. But it's like no matter what, like even right now, no matter what I'm learning, even if like I'm horrible at math, I hate math, but it's like school is and like this is how so like I have a big decision coming up with colleges. Obviously, I'm getting all my decisions and it's like so again, if you've listened to every episode, you've heard me say this a million times, but I can go to Westchester for free because my mom works there, and that I like hate having that decision because it makes it so much harder. But
why do you hate?
I don't hate having it. Like I just hate like it's having that huge tally of Westchester free, no debt makes like. If it wasn't free, I wouldn't be applying to Westchester. But having it there makes it so much like, you know what I mean? Like just based off the money, like, But anyway, I just need like the school structure. Like even right now, I have so much going on outside of school, but it's like, I almost feel like I've said this and I was talking with a couple people at dinner the other week. We went out and I was like, I get so much more done when like if I have 8 hours of school, I get so much more done in like the 8 hours I have outside of school than if I have the whole day to do something because I just procrastinate, bro. It's like I have to have the jam-packed schedule. Like am I gonna fit it in? And am I gonna have to stay up late? Am I gonna have to get up early? It's like I love like I don't realize it, but I thrive off of like just having it jam packed. Like I said, I'll get more done in 4 hours on a day where I have it mostly taken up than like a full open day.
Dude, I'm the same way. As soon as I get, and I was even saying something about Thanksgiving and going from Thanksgiving to even through that weekend. I definitely took some time off and kicked up the feet a little bit. And dude, it's hard coming back when you relax, right? Like that Monday after Thanksgiving was a really, really long day. It felt like it took forever. It felt like I wasn't really accomplishing anything because I was just so like, not as focused as I normally was, not in the groove. So it's, I can definitely relate to that, dude, because it's, it's good to keep yourself in momentum. It's good to keep, finding yourself in new situations, new scenarios, new conversations, so that way you can, learn from each and every single one of them and apply them to the next one. So I think that's I'm the same way. My sister will tell you that she's the same way too. We've always, either been really, really bored and really lazy with a lot of our time, and me specifically, whenever I'm bored and or really lazy is when I get into trouble. So I need to stay busy, need to stay kind of focused, and in return, do you ever notice that it's hard to slow down sometimes, right? You ever get people around you telling you, dude, slow down, you don't need to do this, you don't need to do that, take a second, take a deep breath or whatever.
I mean, yes, like I feel like the only people that, because it's like I do so much work in like by myself. Like no one like again, any business owner or whoever, like all the work you put in, no one sees. Like for the most part, like the hours someone's listening to this podcast, they're like hours spent just for this conversation. Like, but they don't see that.
Right.
But so it's like not like I feel like people for sure. I would say a lot of people it's like in relation to like, yo, come out and party on a Friday and Saturday, and it's like they just don't understand that it's like so for me personally, I don't party like at all, like, and I stay very strict to that. I've stayed strict to that. So I got hired to be a videographer for this guy Chris Rafter. Do you know?
No.
Musician.
No.
Nick Myersnism. I was just wondering.
I'll have to ask him.
Anyway, so I was at a Westchester frat Saturday, and they had a huge party, and it's like, I get it. It's fun. It's fun to just not like just you're there. You're having fun. Right. I get it. But for we talk about this on the pod so much. For our high school, I see it every single week, and it's all these kids know how to talk about and all they know how to look forward to. It's like every single week I'm looking forward to a podcast. Every single week, all I hear, it's like Monday, Tuesday. What are we doing Friday? And then it's like Wednesday, Thursday. And it's like, it's a slide. It's like we're going to build up for the Friday, Saturday night. And then it's like crash. And then it's like the next week. And it's literally just like having a healthy cycle. It's a cycle of partying. Again.
Yeah.
No, I don't disrespect to you. I'm not going to not talk to them. I think they're good people. I just don't think, like, again, for someone, if you're running a business or whatever, it's just not obviously productive. But to get back to your point of like slowing down, I feel like you definitely get like people saying, oh, you can go here, and you just have to say, like, you got to work. And that's when it's kind of like, why not? Just come out.
I think that there's definitely a lot of distractions, and sometimes they're good distractions. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's okay to acknowledge that the distraction is there, but also, do you want to act on it or do you not want to act on it? Right? Sometimes not acting on the distraction could be just as detrimental as when you do act on the distraction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think there is such thing as I'm not really a big I hate the term burnout, right? Because like, if there's stuff that needs to get done, you got to do it. Right? It doesn't matter, it doesn't matter how long the checklist is, doesn't matter how late. One of the things that Nick and I kind of talk about too, it's like, we basically, we use sun up or sundown to tell our time. Is the sun up? Okay, great, it's daytime. Is the sun down? Okay, it's nighttime. And with that, it kind of helps us get out of the, okay, I need to work from 4 to 5 to do this hour. It's like, no, man, like you got a big checklist to do this week. You got to get it done.
Yeah.
Right. And if you can take a second, you can take a break to go get some dinner or go, my brother just had a little baby the other day, so went to go see his little baby and, make sure everyone's all healthy, got to see my family and stuff like that. So, I think it's important, as you go through your journey too, to remember that sometimes, whether you, lean into that distraction or stay away from it, there's good and bad in both. There's good in, getting away from that distraction, but there's also good in, being in that distraction. You never know what kind of, motivation or inspiration that you might gather from it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or I don't want to do this, or I don't want to be like that. I don't want to look like this, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good thing, especially too, like, as you go on, the more that you grow, right? We were just kind of talking about, you're finding yourself maybe in a transition, a 1 foot in, 1 foot out of, getting to that next step, right? In terms of the people that you bring onto your show, those people that you bring on that are maybe, your level 2 that you're kind of jumping into, they might try to distract you 10 times more than your level 1 people, right? So you have to be ready, as those people come in, and make sure that you're staying on the course that got you to, be able to jump from level 1 to level 2.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because those new people that you put on a pedestal, right, you just got to be careful because they're human too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they'll say some messed up stuff. They'll go party, or they might be the people that you want to stick around with, moving forward. So it's an interesting, kind of give and take in a way, and it's there, right? But knowing what to do with it when it's there is the hard question.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. There's so much opportunity and everything, but like you were saying, like taking time away, like obviously like family, like no matter what, like I'm always gonna like respect it, and like I absolutely love the fam. I'm very blessed to have like great family, great cousins, great aunts and uncles, grandparents, all that. And it's like just like over Thanksgiving, over the holidays, it's like that's one thing when it's like when I'm like, so one of the early episodes I had my pop-off on the podcast.
Oh, word.
And like he's like like I was with him yesterday, never fails to impress me. Like it's like actually bad, like my mom hates it, like he cannot stop talking, like he has so much knowledge and like so many stories.
What did he do for work? Like, did he grow up around here? Like,
so they're out in Mechanicsburg, which is like
okay.
outside of like Harrisburg.
Yep.
And so son of Italian immigrants. Mom spoke Italian, parents spoke Italian. He had, like, I don't eight siblings. Big family. Grew up very poor. But like your classic like American, like the American dream, like loves it. So he started his own accounting firm, and he's doing that. He's 87 and still working as an
For
accountant.
real?
Yeah,
Still going?
yeah, still going.
Showing up to the office every day.
Showing up
suit
to
and
the
tie
office
and
at
all
6
that?
in the morning every day at 87. Like that's the type of thing where it's like I look at him and it's like I really do idolize that. Like
Yeah.
if he can get up at 87 in the morning, like it blows my mind
Yeah.
seeing that.
Yeah.
But the fam, taking time for the fam is obviously important.
How were they when you started this? Were they super supportive? Was anybody like I'm sure in the beginning everyone was like, yeah, go ahead, do it. It'd be great to say it. But when you really went to take it to that next level, maybe spending the money to get the mics or, really, taking that next step and, believing in yourself before anybody else believed in you. Was there any of that you experienced, or was there any, kickback, or was it kind of smooth sailing all the way through?
So I'd say all of my family and my grandparents like absolutely love it because like they're getting to listen to their grandkid, like they think this is like the freaking like biggest radio in the world, you know what I mean? So like they all love it, but like no, like my pop was talking about, and like all my other grandparents, like, but he's again like he can just talk forever, and like the knowledge and the wisdom I've just gained from him, like I can just sit down with him on Thanksgiving or the day after Thanksgiving, and like we've had so many just like hours long conversations just in the living room. But like he like anyway, and to get back to the question, like they all everyone's been totally supportive. The only person that like I've had doubts from is really my own parents. Like they support me 100%, but it's like my mom is just like she thinks it's like out there. I feel like I feel like she again, it's not meant to make sense to people. They don't understand the late nights. They don't understand everything. Like when you have a vision and you want to accomplish that, so it's not meant to make sense, and that's what I keep telling myself. Like,
yeah, and you can't expect other people to see your vision.
Yeah,
right.
I
especially if they're not visionaries.
Yeah,
like,
and
that's huge.
It's all respect to her, but like we've definitely had our fair share of disagreements over like I'm just like I'm gonna do the podcast, like that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like she's like even with the college thing, like I was just like, I gotta see what I want to do money wise, whatever, and like again, I just have to tell myself like she just doesn't understand yet.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Sometimes you got to make people, believe before they see, and that's hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And vice versa. You got to make people see so they believe too.
Yeah.
And
like she's definitely like seen the effects for sure. Like even in the past 2 years, like I've been able to make connections. Like I ran a podcast for another company this summer, and that was my job. Like I was like, Mom, look, I just made money doing what I love. Like now, like that was my summer job. How cool is it? And then it's like, so, it's just part of the process.
Dude, it's fine. The more we kind of talk and get through it, I feel like we're pretty similar because, a lot of my friends and, immediate family members were super excited. Some of them were, intrigued when we would talk about it, but then it would die out, right? But I'm the same way. My mom is a visionary, so we got to talk and see it, and we were on the same page. She's very supportive. My dad is not a visionary by any means, right? So we walked into, I brought him into the potential Fitness Factory building that we're in now, and dude, from that point on up until probably about 2 weeks or 3 weeks from that point on, it was like hard to talk to each other, because and again, all the support, all the love, I think it really stemmed more from their own fear being projected on the leap that I'm taking for myself.
That's the thing. Like, it's the risk, because it's like
my parents were not big risk takers.
Exactly.
Like that.
Yep.
And I think I'm fortunate enough to be able to act on my risk because of them in a way.
Yeah, it's
right?
like
so
you have to like, for like we're saying, like if it's like relatable, like I want, like I have to die knowing I took like the biggest risk, because like it just like literally burns inside me if I don't jump on something. And it's like I get better at that every day. It's like every opportunity, just say yes. Like for the most part, it's you just got to say yes. Like, and use excitement as a compass too. Like follow what like you get hyped up about. Like 100%.
Yeah, dude. I think you're definitely on to just a positive mindset and a sustainable mentality, because I don't think it really matters, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it really matters what comes your way. You know that you're going to be able to provide a solution. You know that you're going to be able to find something. But then also, if you start to get maybe a different itch for something else, you're going to hit it head on. And I think that's the biggest thing that separates people from even starting or not, because what I've learned so far in this short year of trying to start the business, and even the first 2.5 months of being open, is entrepreneurship is a run-on sentence with empty parentheses, but you don't know what's in the parentheses. You just know that they're there, right? You can read the sentence, that there's empty parentheses. Within those parentheses, there might be something good in there, there might be something bad, but you only know once you come up right to that parenthesis, and then you get through it. But you know that there's other words on the end of it, right? So if you just keep pushing through and getting on the other side, you know that you're going to have a whole nother run-on sentence, and there's going to be another problem or another good thing that comes up. And I think, being able to kind of keep that mentality even when the closest people to you are questioning you, right? The people that you value their opinion so much is, it's a hard thing to do. It's a really, really hard thing to do, because people, I think, people only really see you for, the person that they had the most control over. And, my dad, rightfully so, in the beginning, I don't think he really saw me for the person I am today. He saw me for the young kid that was chasing girls and playing sports, that's it, right? So, for me to tell him, dude, I'm going to get an SBA loan. I want to start up my own business. This is what we're going to do. And, for him to hear that, I'm sure he was pretty, excited, happy and stuff, that I wanted to kind of take, control of my own. But, he's very financially cautious in terms of what is the end result of failure due to my finances. What and that's the risk, right? Like, you don't, like, when you bought these microphones, these look like really, really good microphones that can hear really well in here, right? But the risk for you was putting all that money down and hoping it works and hoping it takes off, and then maybe once you got the microphones, you got the headphones, and then it just snowballed. It just snowballed from there. So I think being able to show somebody, right, I bought the microphones, it works, mom, dad, I'm gonna buy the headphones now. You know what I mean? Like, that purchase was probably a little bit easier to convince, or even just show or deal with, whatever you want to call it on your end,
Yeah, it's like also hard, like, for me, because it's like, again, you said like they saw you as like the chasing chicks, whatever. It's like, it's hard for me because it's like, I'm not doing any, like, I'm a kid in high school. I'm not going out and partying. I'm not doing anything. Like, literally, this is the thing I spend all my time on. How is there any, it's like, in a way, my mom wants, like, I feel like she wants me to go out and party. Like, and I say that, like, kind of as a joke, but she's like, go out and connect with kids your age. And it's like, again, I feel like she just wants me to be that normal. Like,
I think that there's definitely, it's tough for parents to give advice during a time period that they don't know much about, right? Because their advice is going off of their own experiences. So it's hard for, them to see you maybe put yourself in a position that's going to slow you down, hurt you. They're trying to help you before, you make the mistake. But I think, where we could find common ground is, no, let me make the mistake. I'll be okay. We'll figure it out in the end. and we'll ride from there, but at least let me make the decision. Let me make the mistake.
Yeah.
You don't have to guard it. You don't have to, gatekeep or anything like that.
Yeah. I want to ask you a question that so I feel like I don't ask this on the pod like ever, but I've talked to a lot of people that I've met on the pod like off camera, if I go out to dinner or whatever. So you said you were chasing girls and everything as a kid in high school, as one does, but do you have a girlfriend right now?
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
So did relationships get in the way of anything? What was your kind of relationship / dating / whatever life like? Because
that's a good question.
It's something. So me and my really good friend who I met on this podcast. So I had him on. Again, just I reached out to him, and now we're best friends. And it's we talk about girls a lot, just how it plays into your mindset and just everything around you. Because as men, yes, it can be a distraction. Let's
sure.
100%.
For sure.
And it's definitely a science.
It could be a superpower too, though.
Exactly.
I think it's important. I think it's important to have the right person, by your side. And for me, I realized early on during this that I wanted to share the process with somebody. Right. I wanted to share the days, the nights, but it will never, I shouldn't say it'll never. I found that it wouldn't work for me because of the way that I operate, and I couldn't have somebody, I couldn't expect somebody to sit next to me all the time. Right. I couldn't expect somebody to do what, follow me or, because opening up the business, I'm super hyper focused. Right. I'm there, 12, 16, 18-hour days. And, I don't get the time to just sit on the couch, right? I don't get the time to, go for a walk, right? I don't get the time to do that. And it's by choice. And I don't think that's what people understand is that, if I make this choice to go for the walk at, 2:00 in the afternoon, it's not what happens right then and there. It's the ripple effect of taking that time out of the day on what gets pushed back, right? What gets left behind. So I realized early on that, I definitely would have liked to share the whole build up process with somebody. But then on the flip side of that, I probably was not the best person to be around, during the build out, right? And during securing the loan, for the business or, any of that stuff that came with opening, and being, an entrepreneur, I probably wasn't the best person to be around. So even though, yes, I would have loved to have somebody to share, this process with in this phase and, go through some of that stuff, with somebody, but I don't think in any way, shape, or form that I could even expect anybody to, be alongside me at which the pace that I move and at which the way that, I operate during, head down, straightforward, hyper focused, weeks, days, months, whatever it is, right? Because it comes in different waves, you know what I mean? So, but no, I think part of it too, looking internally, for sure, it would have been great to have somebody, but, at the end of the day, I saw it as more of a distraction than I did a benefit. But that doesn't mean that it can't be beneficial.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think as a man, having somebody or, anybody really, when you have somebody in your corner that is going to support, and challenge you, but also hold you accountable, right? Not let you slip up, not let you do, that's almost, unbeatable.
Yeah.
I just didn't have the time to find that person.
Yeah.
Yet, at least.
Well,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
it's you don't have time. Yeah, I agree. It's you can't be the one chasing and trying to find it.
No.
They have to. like
then
is
with
is
that-
it cocky for me to say they have to come to you? You know what I mean?
No, it's the reality of it.
Yeah.
Though. Like it's the reality when I have, or when somebody has a dream that they're willing to bet on themselves in any capacity. You're the leader, right? So you have to have followers, and anybody that turns you into a follower is taking you away from your dream.
Yeah.
Right. And those people, you may not want to be in your corner, but on the flip side of it, it's like, because we do have our dream, we can't expect anybody to follow us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They have to want to be there.
And that's the same with like the entrepreneur kind of schedule too. It's like, in my opinion, I feel like relationships can be like for someone that's running their own business. It's like, it's easy and also hard because it's like you can just be like, let's hit up dinner or something. It's very easy to find the time. I like you tell me what day works, and it's like I can do it any day, but every other day has to be something. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday type of deal.
Yeah.
It's just like a time.
It's so funny you
restraint.
say that because early on, in the build out when I was, I guess loosely with somebody, I had I went out to lunch with one of my buddies. Shout out Dylan Butner, great realtor. If you need him, hopefully we can put his logo up here or something. But I was talking with my buddy and he said something like that. He's like, dude, you need to just set the schedule. And he's like, if you set from 5 to 6, like this is my hour or this is our hour, you got to stick to it. I was like, dude, I don't even know what I'm doing after this. Like, I don't know what email's coming in. I don't know what phone call is going to happen or what text I'm about to receive. I can't even plan for, the next hour, let alone, next Friday and Saturday 5 to 6. If something comes up and I have something planned, best believe that plan is getting canceled because of what came up. And then that's going to turn into oh, well, you did this last time or whatever it may be. And, that type of stuff, it doesn't feel good to, make somebody feel like that. And it also doesn't feel, good to, have the idea that me chasing my dream is hurting somebody else. It just shouldn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I kind of asked that because it's like, again, as you do, it's like when I was first in like that bad time in my life and like starting this, like I had like a typical really bad like relationship, whatever. And it's like I talk about that with my friend. Like, again, it's like in a way you have to look at the positive, just like COVID, something bad happened, like. And in reality, it really like motivated me. It really made me want to work. It gave me no distraction because it's like, what else is there to do? What I can't hang out with that person anymore. What else is there to do? Well, now I have the time to work twice as hard on this. So
yep. And keep your mind busy with something, that could be, that could be a positive driver. But I think it's also really important to be able to, understand and kind of acknowledge why do we operate in such a way?
Yeah.
Right? Like, why is it, am I really doing this work because I like it, or am I doing this work because it's distracting me from, what I just experienced?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think, but yeah, that's an interesting question, in terms of just, being in a romantic relationship while you're trying to build, right? I would say it's almost pretty similar to, I don't know how well, versed or experienced in like the addiction world, but like, when two recovering addicts are still going through recovery together, right? And then they try to, join forces, it's pretty hard, you know what I mean? Like, cause one could get in the other's head and say, oh, well, let's, whatever it may be. And, it really makes you think about when the right time is to join forces and when the right time is to just, stay alone, right? Or continue down your own path. But it's an interesting thing because I think nobody wants to be alone, especially when they're doing something that they're really passionate about and that they care about. They want to share it with people and almost show it off like a brand, newborn kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was talking with one guy just like last week, and like we were having a similar type of deal. He was just like because we were talking, and he was like, yeah, sorry, I'm saying like the same
You're
thing a million
good. You're
times. So
good.
I'm like stuttering here.
You're
Anyway,
good,
we were talking about like, yeah, all right. So you get a girl, whatever, and it's like you said, go for a walk, watch a movie. It's all good stuff. It's all good stuff.
Yeah.
But
Especially on a rainy day, dude.
yeah,
Of course.
But it's like you're sitting there watching the movie, and the whole time you are just thinking about what can I be doing for the pod? What can I be doing for the gym? What songs can I be writing the whole time?
Yeah.
And it's like that works on you too. If you again, it's just got to be like
That's exactly
so
why
hard,
I'm
dude.
saying
It's
that
hard.
I was not enjoyable to be around for that.
Yeah.
Because I, sitting on the couch or whatever, doing something that my brain is not where I want to be. Dude, I wear my heart on my sleeve, dude. You could see on my face if I'm having a good time, if I'm having a bad time. Ask Nick Myers, he'll tell you too. You know what I mean? It's funny, that you say that. You got some really good knowledge for, just the amount of time that you've been really experiencing important things. So I think it's really cool how knowledgeable you are with that, because it's not easy to put yourself in those positions to find that stuff out. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And then to come out of it and be able to, come out of that situation and know that, damn, I just wasted an hour because I wanted to sit down and, hang out with this girl, but I couldn't even stop thinking about, the podcast,
Yeah.
or I couldn't stop thinking about the marketing, plan that we need to do, or, what are some of the operational SOPs that we need to figure out, like
Right.
stuff like that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Yep.
that's an interesting thought, dude.
What was the all right, that's a great way to wrap up that segment right there.
Dude, I will say that anything goes, man. You could ask whatever you want.
So like, what was the overall process of the full startup? By the way, you can pull that mic
Yeah.
like a little closer.
Um,
You're good. But what was the overall process, like the startup, finding the location? I saw that you had to apply for the loan like 12. It took you 12 times.
Yep. Yep.
What was the Just give us the full rundown of the startup.
So I went through a SBA loan, and what I did was I went to the bigger banks early on, and you went Wells Fargo, Chase, all those big ones. I didn't really expect it to, take in the first 2 or 3 even, but after, 4, 5, 6, you learn a lot. They ask the same questions, but then you get into double digits. You're like, damn, maybe they are right. Maybe I shouldn't have done this, or, maybe I am struggling to, finally, make this happen. And then, I got up into, 11 and 12, and the bank that I actually ended up going with was referred to me by the 9th or 10th bank that turned me down. So I went in, did my presentation, spent some time with the bank in Westchester actually, and they were like, this project is a little bit too risky for us. We don't, we're not going to move forward. But we have this other person that might be interested, right? They might do a project like this, and I was super pissed off, and didn't even just paid no mind to it. So the 11th bank was right out of Westchester. Lots of back and forth with them. Came really close to making it work, and as I was what I thought was finalizing the funding with the 11th bank, I was just like, what, let me just see what this looks like. So I sent everything to the bank that I'm with now, and within a month we were already discussing term sheets. They wanted to see general contractor quotes. They wanted to see what the building looked like. They wanted to see what my business plan looked like, everything from the organizational structure to what each individual person is responsible for. What is our opening and closing duties? What is what's the 1 year, 3 year, 5 year P&L look like? Profit loss statement, right? They wanted to see some of the financials. They wanted to see my background, right? So went through all that stuff, and I actually got funding secured in, I think it was end of October in 2023. So I secured the funding. Yep, you got all your money. This is what you do. So I start and I went ahead and then I looked into a couple different locations. I looked into the old Mitch's gym in Westchester.
Is that kind of down near like the nudies?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Down on the other side, as you kind of go into town. It's on
Yeah.
like the back side of town. Looked into Mitch's gym. There was another kind of corporate office that was right across the street from like Carlino's, like on
Yeah.
down there.
Yeah.
And then there was another couple, off-site locations that were in Exton, KOP. But the one that I'm in now, when I walked in there at first, I was like, this is it. I knew this was it. But they were not. It was the old Market Street hardware store. So they were still moving out, and it seemed like the timing was going to align up pretty well. Because in order for me to even, provide my proposal to the banks, I had to get the equipment, had to get the layout. So I had everything basically ready to go, just waiting for a green light. Press the button, everything else is good. Contractors, the equipment, the flooring, the paint, all that stuff was ready to go. And then when it came time to sign the lease for the building, the bank came back to me and said, well, you have to reapply and go through the process again because you're outside your window. So that just threw me for a loop, dude. I thought I had my funding secured. I'm doing all this stuff. I'm having all these conversations with these different businesses and, trying to build these different partnerships. And, so I kind of had to quickly expedite that process again. And then, finally got the keys to the building, right? When I got the keys to the building, talking back to, the hours, there was probably about a good 7 to 10 days where I was pushing, 16, 18-hour days of just straight demo. And I'll have to show, I can send you what it looked like beforehand and can kind of show you some of the videos and stuff. But, I was pushing, like I was saying, 16 to 18-hour days, of just straight demolition of a 13,000 square foot, building. Like being in there late nights, almost really electrocuted myself a couple times, brought down some walls on my own, which was pretty scary and, fun too. I mean, I love breaking stuff. You know what I mean? If you ever get the opportunity to put a sledgehammer through, a wall or something, I would definitely, recommend it.
I mean, there's always the opportunity.
Yeah. Well, maybe ask people first. You know what I mean? But yeah, dude. So we, did that. Got some really good help from some Westchester fraternities to kind of help with some demo. They needed some community service. So, we partnered up there. They helped out a lot. And then once the building was kind of, open and, cleaned up in such a way, we brought the equipment in, and was slowly basically kind of timing, in parallel, we were trying to really build out the location, but also make it aesthetically pleasing. Right. So you have a couple different things. I always use the metaphor or the game, the carnival game where you have 3 or 4 different horses and you shoot the water. We're shooting all the water guns at once, but there's only one set of hands. Right. So you're going over here shooting this one, going over there shooting this one, and there's a bunch of different things happening all at once. And then once we got into the building, we had a pretty big hiccup with the township, which was absolutely terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I'm just thinking about it now. I went and I met with the township on 2 separate occasions. The first one was right as I settled the first round of funding. Went to the township, said, this is, got my funding. This is the building I want to do it in. And this is, what my business is. Is it feasible? They're like, yeah, it's feasible. You might have to look into a sprinkler system. So I was like, okay, whatever. Went back to the landlord, said, they're telling me that we're going to need to get a sprinkler system in. I had no idea what that entailed. So I'm thinking about, okay, whatever. Let's just get some water lines running, whatever, plumbing, this, Next thing you know, the building is on a well, which cannot support a sprinkler system. The nearest water source, like Aqua, is about 400 yards away. So they charge about $150 a linear foot to just run the water line a foot into the property line, not even get it in the building, not even buy the the materials, supplies. So you're looking at, part of our argument was, you're looking at a, $2.5 million building at best that's going to require a, $400,000-$500,000 sprinkler system. That's so cost prohibitive. So I went back, and the second meeting, I hired an architect and engineer to kind of come in, read the codes and stuff, and we had come up with this plan to avoid the sprinkler system. So within the building, there was a bunch of different, sections, or we had to compartmentalize the building with different firewalls, right? So, bunch of different, spaces that required cinder block, or there's this, and again, this is something I didn't know, that there's a certain drywall that's fire resistant, that we had to get that, right? So, we went in to the second meeting, and, went in and kind of talked, and, in the township office, sat at the table for, about 45 minutes to an hour. And, the township, they were like, yeah, that's a good plan. So we had thought that they approved it, right? So we moved forward with what we had talked about, what we discussed. They looked at us. They didn't say they didn't have any issues or anything like that. When we went to go apply for our building permits to actually do the work, right, they denied them. And they denied them because we didn't have a sprinkler system. So we go, and this was probably, not my best hour. I book it over to the township building. I'm like, dude, this is like, what are we doing here? So this is the second part of the journey that I thought everything was just going to fall through. Like I have all this, money waiting, have all this equipment ready to be ordered, already put down a bunch of money on some of the cold plunges, the saunas, all that other kind of stuff. So we had stuff in transit, and they're telling us that our building permits were denied. So we had to go through an appeal process. We appealed. They sent us a letter that said, yeah, your appeal is this date. And it was a Wednesday night at 7 p.m. I had to go to the township and sit in front of like a board for them to ask questions, talk about what the business is, and just kind of get a feel for me. And I was there for 2 hours going through. And one of the things that really stuck out to me was this guy came in, and he's standing up in front of the board, and, long story short, he says, I agreed with their plan. I didn't approve it. It's like, dude, what does that even mean? Like, how do you agree with it but not? So they're, they just cover their own ass as much as they can, right? Deny. And then once they get, once we got approved, it was obviously all fine and well. So that was a good day, to get that figured out. And then it was really just, head down, get it done as fast as you can, as best as you can. And then, I'd be lying if I said I remembered everything, because there's so much piled on top of each other. But the big things, the big problems, I guess I should say, I remember, you know what I mean? Like the big, the things that almost either, completely shut down everything, or, the stuff that took forever. That's kind of what's most, remembered. I'm sure there's some really good things in there too, but just the way that my brain works is I only really remember, the time that the deal almost fell through, or we weren't able to use the building when we thought we were, and, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, so obviously, like, all the amenities, like, what you got, like the cold plunge, the sauna, like, you got different, like, rooms. Myers did all the artwork around the gym, right? Yeah.
Did you get to see it downstairs when you guys came in for the
I
show?
haven't been in yet. I gotta hop over there at some point.
Yeah, bring a bathing suit for the cold plunge too.
Yeah, we should film a video. Like the Kevin Hart.
I'm down.
I have the mics for it if you want to do it.
You?
Bro, I've never done a cold plunge.
Really?
How long do you think it lasts? What is it, like 30 seconds, if that?
I don't know, dude. You'd be surprised. Some people will, get in and get out real quick, and other people that you would least expect it would be in there for like 5 minutes.
If I get some music,
minutes.
like if I get the right song on, I think I might have it. I don't know. No, I have
That
no
ain't
experience
saving you,
story.
dog. That's not saving you by any means.
Yeah,
Nah, it's
I'll try.
'cause-
That would be a good video. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
Yeah, dude. Hey, we got two of them right next to each other. We could do that.
Alright.
Yeah. No, it was funny to see like everybody's first time getting in the cold plunge because there's really not much like it in Westchester. You have like surrounding areas that have like cryo and stuff like that, but the actual cold plunge is like a little different.
What
know,
what temperature? Yeah, on that?
We keep ours between 40 and 45.
Okay.
Yeah. So we
Oh,
had it
really
down
cold.
to 39. Oh, yeah, it's freezing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We had it down at the lowest, which is 39. And, with it being so new and fresh, to the town, we wanted people to kind of have a better initial experience than like completely like shocking themselves. You know what I mean? Like we wanted to get them, right to the edge and then, kind of peel back so they would come back.
Can you really
know?
like notice the difference between like 45 and 39?
Initially, yes.
Okay.
Initially, yes, for sure.
The,
I think for somebody that, hot versus cold, yeah, you notice that right away. But I think, from 39 to 42, you might have to be pretty experienced to know, that it's there. But 1 degree change in the water is like, 55 to 60 is very different. You know what I mean? In terms of water temperature.
like, cause I see like the Joe Rogan videos where he gets out of it. It's like the sheet of ice, everything. Like,
Yeah.
what did they keep it at? Like 33.
That's gnarly.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't have any ice or anything in ours. It's just cold water. It's
Yeah.
just cold water. I couldn't imagine getting in one of those, ones with the ice where it's like, this thick up top and cause then you got ice bumping into you and
Yeah.
that can't feel good.
One of our guests we had on the pod, and he's like a family friend. He has a rock gym, and then he has another like he's like a bouldering / recovery gym. He just opened that, and he's got like the full cold plunge sauna thing. Like it's a hot thing.
Yeah. 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 It helps. My body definitely responds better to the compression, like the compression boots that we have. For me, getting in the cold plunge is it's mental than anything else. You know what I mean? How long can I stay in? Can what that fight or flight response looks like.
Do you find you work out like primarily for mental? Like what do you see when you work out? Like, because for me, like I got into running because it was mental. Like literally, again, when I was at like the lowest points, it's like literally I could run 1 mile and like literally my whole night is like changed.
100%. Yeah.
So especially, I think it's especially for like running and endurance more than like lifting. Not to say that lifting like isn't mental at all, but it's like for me, just like the run, man. Like
It helps me drain myself in a way. Like if I'm having a bad day, then it helps me reset. But I think for me, it helps, when I work out, specifically for, just to beat myself up, it helps me not worry about the little things. I don't have like the attention span. Like I don't have the energy to like care in a way, so like being able to kind of take that out of myself and then, really only focus on, the bigger things, that truly matter, right? The big decisions that will make the difference. But for me, I've been out of triathlons for a while now, for probably about a year. But I used to do half Ironmans.
Okay.
So doing the swim, bike, and run.
And how much is a half? Because like that's something that like I could see in the next year too.
Yeah.
Like I like to.
Can
do
you
it.
swim? Are you
No,
good sw-
that's why. Like I gotta like lock the swimming in, and
once-
that's the thing that scares me the most.
Yeah, but it's first. So you get that out of the way. But half Ironman 70.3 miles. So you do 1.2 mile swim, 56 mile bike, and then 13.1 mile run.
Yeah,
So-
like I feel like I could do that.
Yeah.
Like of course.
Yeah. Well, I think it too. It's for me, truthfully, it wasn't a matter of getting my mind or even necessarily my body wrapped around moving that long. It was having to use the bathroom in the middle of a race and then having to, replenish your body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I grew up wrestling too. So, we're wrestling on empty stomachs, right? Like we used to cut weight, 10, 15 pounds a week, right?
Yeah.
Back before they made you pee in a cup, now they have to, do the hydration tests and everything like that. But for me, it was, when do I stop to use the bathroom? When should I eat food? Am I eating too much? Am I eating too little? Am I not eating, so that was the hard part. But the swimming piece for sure, once you get, once you learn how to kind of stroke and catch some air,
It's like the mechanics,
stroke,
right?
yeah,
Very
yeah. But
mechanical.
there's a lot of, fundamentals to it. But I think as long as you can get your breathing aligned with just your swim strokes, whether you're slapping the water or you're super graceful, just as long as you can, for me, as long as I could catch a breath and I knew I was moving forward, that was all I really needed.
Is like swimming really that like much like a 1.2 mile swim is really like equivalent, if not harder, to 13 miles running? What do you say? Like, does it feel like forever in a 1 mile swim?
I think it depends on who you ask. If you ask a swimmer, right, that grew up swimming, it's nothing for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're finishing that in, 15, 20, 25 minutes,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
There's people getting out of the water before I even get in, to start my race.
Yeah.
So I think it really depends on who you ask. But for me, I knew that all I needed to do was get to the run, right? I
Yeah.
can run anytime. I can, that's easy for me, right? So getting the swim out of the way and then getting through the bike were my, big things. But the toughest part too, dude, is, when you're swimming, you're getting kicked in the face, you're getting swam over.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of people that are just, trying to do the same thing. And, the most recent race, it was my 5th one and got into the water and just immediately started having a panic attack. Like was just like, what's going on? So calm myself down a little bit. But what's funny is what really brought me back to, centered was getting kicked. Like literally just somebody kicked me and it just put me right back where I needed to be within the first like 10 seconds. So it's weird, dude. It's a fun thing. If you can get into it, I definitely, recommend getting involved with the community for sure.
Yeah.
It's a very communal, event.
I did my first like bigger race 2 weeks ago. I did the Philly half.
Oh, nice.
And this is my first time talking about it on the pod. Like I talked about a lot of the build up, but here we are. It's great. Absolute like I told myself this my entire like few months before it. Like I was training for it. It was just like the race is gonna be the easiest freaking run I've ever done in my life. There's gonna be people cheering all around you. There's gonna be freaking water stations if I want them.
Yep.
It's pretty much flat. Like as opposed to I'm running like 12 miles in the freaking dark 2 weeks before by myself in the cold around the hill. Like it's gonna be so easy. So and so my goal like originally was like 100 minutes. I was like keep it under an hour 40, and I did it in an hour 35. So I crushed it.
dude.
I crushed my goal.
Yeah.
So it was good.
How did you feel the day after?
Totally fine.
Really?
Like
That's the big thing, dude. That's the big thing. That tells you that you trained right. You know what I mean? Because if you can get up after that, and I feel like anybody could really do it. Like I get that question asked a lot. Like, do you think I could do this? Do you think I could do that? It's not really about, doing it, right? It's about doing it safely and then doing it so you can like go to work the next day.
Yeah, no, I mean, I
You
didn't
know what I
feel
mean?
anything because it's just like, I haven't felt sore after a run in like literally like 2 years. Like since I've like, cause I run every single day. It's like, so then when like in the training program, it's like, all right, I did like 7 miles and then 9 and then 10 and I wasn't feeling sore after them. And then I'm doing 12 and I didn't feel sore after that. So yeah, it was
What's your next
good.
one? You thinking?
I mean, I really want to do a full marathon now.
Yeah.
And so for the half, I didn't train with anything. Like I didn't train with any water, any like the goo or anything. Like for the race, I carried like 2 packs of goo. It was like the first time I've ever literally had goo was during the race. I was like figuring it out. It was it was like way thicker than I thought. I was like choking.
It's like icing. Yeah, it's like icing. Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, I'd love to do a full marathon because I hate how it has to have half in the name. Just call it like a 13.1 mile race, but it's half of something else. So it's I gotta do the full.
Give yourself some grace, man. Give yourself some grace.
There's Pittsburgh Marathon is in May, and that's like the most hilly marathon like in the country, like one of them. It's like, do I really want to start with that? Or I could just wait it out and do Philly like this time next year, like the full marathon. But I don't. I got to do another race. It's like I got to get one on the calendar.
Look into go to vacation races, and what they do is they host different. I think they have miles. I think they have miles, 5Ks, and half marathons in national parks. Right. So I did one in Zion. Did one in Mount Rainier.
Wow.
And you get to run through these like really cool, parks and stuff like that. See some cool things. The one in Zion literally hit all 4 elements. It was beautiful when we started, sunny. It was in I think it was in March or something. So it was a little cold, but it was sunny, and then it started to rain, and then it snowed, and then it hailed all within the race.
Wow.
You turn around one mountain and then it's boom, it's right there. So it, if you're looking for something to kind of travel for, give yourself a weekend. It's cool, man, and that's what that's how I started getting into triathlons and everything too. Was like to be able to kind of combine, the traveling with the fitness side. You know what I mean, and be able to really, kind of kill 2 birds with one stone that way.
I feel like I also got to do Broad Street. I haven't done Broad Street now, so obviously got to check that one
Do
off.
Broad Street, do the Love Run. They're all pretty much, the same course really, but it's the environments there is cool. Broad Street's something else because there's, I think they added, 5,000 more people this past year, and I think it was like 45,000, 50,000 people.
That's crazy.
It's the first 2 miles you're basically just walking because there's so many people, or you're zigzagging and stuff like that. But if you do, definitely recommend downloading your music before you race because there's so much self activity that you won't be able to stream anything. I learned that the hard way. So you have to download.
I need
download
my
yourself.
music, dude. I need it. I need it to the point where for the half, I sit down and I queue up the songs. So number 5 song is here, and when I'm at mile 9, it's the hardest
strategic,
part.
Dude.
My song number 16 is at mile 9. I literally plan it to that extent. For sometimes it's funny.
That's man, that's a strategic plan right there.
Yeah. I did the turkey trot the first year, the Westchester turkey trot on Thanksgiving. Yeah. It was good. Good
Do you
vibes
sprint
for
those?
Westchester. So. I got into running again. I've never run for anyone. I've never done track. Everyone says I should do track. I've thought about it, but I run because I want to run. I don't want to make it like a chore.
Yeah.
But so I started running just to I would run 1 mile. I just do it every single day, and I got down to literally a 5 flat mile, and I was just like that's all I knew how to do. I could not I never could run. I never would try 2 miles. I just run 5-minute mile and be done. It was looking back and it's
sprint.
dumb.
Yeah.
But did it still clear my brain in those 5 minutes? I was just hauling. Yeah. But then finally I was let's just run a little further here. Don't take it as hard. But anyway, for that turkey shot, I was this is the first turkey shot I've run since I've kind of gotten into running. It's been a few years, and so I wasn't gonna do it, and then I saw someone post one of my friends so there's one of my buddies started this run club in Westchester Saturday mornings, just some college kids. So I come out to that, and one of them they were I have an extra bib. Does anyone want it? I was I'll take it, and it was I didn't realize it was their mom's bib. It's a 53-year-old woman, so I'm running with her bib. I get
booking it.
I'm booking it pretty good, and I placed 3rd for females and 20th overall in the Westchester 5. So it's a 17-year-old kid, and it's like you see the top female times, and it's like a 53-year-old woman in third. It's hilarious.
Did they call you up for like a prize or anything, and you walked up there like?
I mean, I left. I mean, I just like I hung around for a bit. I don't know if there were prizes, but
that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, I hear that. I hear good things about that race.
I thought it was the first year doing it. That they did it this
turkey
year.
trot?
Yeah.
I thought they had one every year. No.
In Westchester?
Yeah.
Maybe there was. Maybe I don't. For whatever reason, I thought it was the first one, but maybe it's not. I don't know.
You ran it. I could be thinking about the wrong one.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you a football guy? Like at all? You follow football at all?
I try to. It goes back to being focused, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
Like for me, like I didn't even get a chance to really see the Eagles game yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'll watch, clips of it here and there and stuff like that. But for me, it's tough for me to even enjoy those things right now. And maybe enjoy is the wrong word, but it's hard.
Spend your time on it.
Yeah, it's hard for me to take time away from what I really want to be doing to watch the game, or even have it on like in the background. You know?
I'm a big like college football guy. Like I'll watch college football when I can.
Yeah.
Like for Penn State, like my dad went to Penn State. I got into Penn State, so it's like hard. Do I want to go there? But yeah, and obviously it's, in my opinion, like this is like the most exciting year of college football because you got the 12-team playoff this year. So it's been cool.
What do you think? What do you think of the NIL and how that's kind of? Because I used to be a big fan of college football. Still am. I definitely like college football more than the NFL. I like watching it because I think they have a little bit more,
it's a tradition,
investment in terms of the players.
Yeah.
Right. Like these kids are trying to make it, but now I think that the whole NIL. You got kids that haven't even stepped foot in college that are driving around cars.
Yeah,
right,
like
that
freaking
getting all this,
Lambos.
you know what I mean? Like, so I think I wonder how that's going to translate into, the excitement of getting drafted. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like do you think you're going to see as many like tears on draft night, right? Because these kids, like, they finally made it. But what happens when they're making more in college than they are in their rookie salary?
Yeah, I mean, to answer the question, what do you think about it? I think the players should be able to make some sort of money off of jersey. They should make their respected off of jersey sales and whatever else. But like, other than that, I think it definitely is hurting the game, hurting like, just again, and even with like now you got the conferences merging. It's like Penn State just played Oregon in their first year of the Big Ten championship. It's
Wild.
like there's. The Big Ten, it's like you have your Penn State versus Ohio State, the Rutgers and New Jersey. It's like a conference day conference because you're all in the same, and it's all these historic rivalries. And again, that's why I think college football is so much like Kyle would hate. Kyle's like a big NFL guy. He doesn't like college football. He's like, college football is so much better in my opinion because you get the band, you get the marching band for your school pride, you get all the students. Like you don't get that in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's professional.
Yeah.
But it's like college football. It's just there. It's like a high school Friday night football game.
There's more
on
pride.
NFL.
There is more pride. Do you think that'll change though?
It's just like the conference expansion. It's like there's no need to get worked up right now over Penn State freaking going out to Oregon, playing USC in California. It's like there's no history there. Like, come on. But could there? I mean,
Did you see what I think it was CBS for the Big Ten? Did you see what deal they closed? I think it was 2022. It was a 7-year. It was a 7-year, $7 billion exclusive right.
That's crazy.
For the TV rights for, I think it was the Big Ten.
That's wild.
Don't quote me on it though. I'm not sure, but it was 7 years, $7 billion.
It's crazy.
That conference is getting.
I hate so a lot of Penn State fans hate this, and I think other schools too. But I guess Penn State's like historically been like boycotting. I mean, I freaking hate it no matter what. It's the Fox Big Noon kickoff. Again, it's just a money grab. So Fox, it's like, again, it's like destroying the whole thing. The money destroys the tradition. So it's like you got Fox Big Noon kickoff. It's a huge money grab. You get number 3 Ohio State versus number 4 Penn State at a freaking noon game.
Noon game.
My freaking old head dad.
Yeah.
Shout out dad. Like he loves it. He's like, I can go up to Penn State. We can watch the game and get back before dark. Like he loves it. But everyone is just like white out.
Yeah.
8 p.m.
Yeah.
night game. So of course our first round playoff game just came out. It's a noon game. It's like, you gotta be kidding me.
Who are they
bro.
playing?
We're
didn't
playing
even see it.
SMU in the first round. It's
How do you feel about that?
so I made 2 brackets and
You
I'm-
sound nervous.
I really don't like Penn State.
You sound
I get
nervous.
very angry. So Penn State cannot beat Ohio State. They own us. We'll never freaking beat Ohio State under James Franklin, whatever. It's like we just can't beat Ohio State. So going in this weekend against number 1 undefeated Oregon, it's like I liked my chances against number 1 Oregon because it's not Ohio State, and I think everyone agreed with that. And we played Oregon very hard and well, just like we would have played
It was
Ohio
what,
State.
24-21 at half, and then I think
Yeah,
something like that.
I think it was within. It was like I think it was like 27-21 maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not
But
sure.
the
Tell me.
halftime adjustments got him, dude.
But even that, like, we only lost by a touchdown. So it's like, you can't be mad. You can't be mad. It was dumb play calling at the end. Like, again, it's frustrating when Penn State has the chance. It's like we stay with them. It would just blow us out. But we had the chance and we lost it. But anyway, James Franklin is 1-14 against top 5 teams. SMU's number 9. It's like, out of all the teams we could be playing, SMU is like, again, our best chance. But here, I got to catch myself. Because every year against Ohio State, this is our chance. This is our chance. So guess what? For my first round brackets, I had 2. As a lifelong, my dad's a season ticket holder at Penn State. I'm going to be at that playoff game. I picked SMU in both of my brackets. To number 9 to beat
For
number
real?
3 Penn State. So I just cannot put my trust in James Franklin anymore. I just can't.
I'm with you on that, dude. I think he's got to perform this. I think he's got to perform this postseason for sure.
See what happens.
You can't go 1-14 at a school like Penn State. You got to have a couple wins in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta, and I think I mean, I'm definitely not a college football coach by any means, but that would tell me that there's there's more coaching, especially with the halftime decisions being made or not being made. You're in a tight game.
Well, it's like under James Franklin, Penn State, we always start, like, that's the difference. That was the big difference at Oregon. We always start so slow. Like, against any team under Franklin, the first half is like, if we're within 2 touchdowns, it's like we're lucky. And then the second half, we come back and do it. If it's not a top 10 team, but not a top 5
Quote,
team,
unquote.
whatever. But second half team, but hey, whatever. We'll see.
Yeah.
But gonna be exciting.
So you think you got Westchester, you got Penn State.
So I'm getting
Where
like
else have you applied?
within the next week. I'm gonna be getting. I know another 2. So I applied to 10 schools. Westchester. I'll try to remember now. Westchester, Pitt, Penn State, Syracuse, Tennessee, South Carolina, Clemson, Tampa, Colorado, and Arizona State University. So like 4 of those schools are in the 12-team playoff right now.
Have you ever gone out to Colorado or Arizona?
So I think over New Year's I'm gonna go. So out of the 10, I've gotten back from 4 like decisions, and I've gotten accepted to all 4.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting on another 6. I'm gonna get Clemson and Tennessee by this time next week. We'll see,
Dude, Arizona State. If I hit the lottery, I'm moving out to like Scottsdale, Old Town, Tempe area.
That's why,
Oh,
because
dude.
I feel like I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna be like, I have to go here. ASU's like, again, here's the thing. I'm not a partier. Like if I go to college, I want to stay focused. Like
That's a big party. There's
and it's
a lot of distractions. at
ASU is
Arizona
like
State,
number
dude.
1 party school,
Yep.
like in the country.
Yep.
Number 1 frat school, number 1 party school.
Yep. And in West Virginia.
Yeah, and Penn State's not that far behind it. Let's be real. And Tennessee's not up there. Like any of those big SEC. I mean, Tennessee, Penn State, ASU are all probably top 10.
Yeah, I don't know. Your 10 choices are maybe inadvertently the big school, the big party schools.
It's just because I just didn't see myself. If I'm gonna go to college, I want to go to a college that I've known the name of growing up.
Yeah.
And to an extent, but now again, it's like Westchester. that's the hardest thing, because it's like, do I want to stay around here and just keep the pod growing, or do I want to take the pod somewhere else and grow up there? Because it's like, here I do have such a valuable network. Like I'm so grateful to meet who I've been able to meet in the past 2 years here. And even if I go to Penn State, it's like, it's still only a 2.5, 3 hour drive. It's like 2.5 really.
Yeah.
If I wanted to come back here like every other week, if I'm dedicated, like I'd make that drive every other week.
My initial reaction and, suggestion to that thought would be identify what your goal is, right? And if your goal is to grow the pod and simultaneously get an education, think about staying local so you can continue to build what you've already laid the foundation for. And then your boys are going to go out to these different schools. They're going to go out to these different places. Your web of friends is going to go from super tight knit to everyone's over here, everyone's over there. So you could use that to your advantage. Keep building here, water the plant that you already have here, right? And then go plant your seeds elsewhere and go take a trip to visit your boys. You know, do you know what I mean? Kind of use that to help you get out there.
Yeah, and Syracuse is like one of the most prestigious like communications like media program. Like all the ESPN people went to Syracuse.
Yep.
So it's like, again.
Did you UConn?
Nah, I didn't apply UConn.
Because isn't ESPN out of Connecticut?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So I was on. I reached again, knocking the door will open. A couple weeks ago, ESPN College Game Day.
Yep.
Penn State. I reached out. I was like, yo, I have this podcast. I ran this high school game day show, Monopoly show. Is there any way I could like see what's up? I got like literally celebrity VIP access to ESPN Game Day like a month ago at Penn State. The producer showed me all the trucks, all the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And then he takes me into his takes me in like the office, like where their temporary office. I walk into the room. I'm literally sitting. I sit down and like pulls a chair up. I'm sitting in Nick Saban's chair. Reese Davis is literally sitting right next to me, and Desmond Howard's across the table. I'm just like, here. I'm just like, reach out, knocking the door will open.
Dude, you have to. You can't be afraid, and I think it's important to, for other people to know that the answer is always no if you don't ask.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Don't tell yourself no. That's awesome. How was that experience?
It was unbelievable. I'll show you some pictures.
Yeah.
It was.
Did you get some contact information? Anybody that you could reach out to, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I have, and then so that was Friday. So I reached out to both ESPN and Fox because they were both there, and ESPN got the full experience. And then next day I was at Fox. Like Joel Klatt, I was with him in the truck. Like just met him.
That's
super cool.
awesome,
He was like asking about the podcast. I gave him a motive hoodie. I was just like, again, just
dude,
networking.
Those are your people, man. Looks like you found your next round of podcasters or guests on the show, whether it's mobile or over Zoom or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. All right. I feel like that's a great place to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Unless you got anything else.
No, man. I think you definitely deserve a lot of kudos for what you've done and put together. But I'm a big mindset guy, and big mentality. Mental space is really important, and I think that just see the past 90 minutes, just kind of getting to hear how you talk about what you're passionate about, and the things that you're doing, the things that you're looking to do. It's really cool to see you put yourself out there in a way. And I think as you get to grow, right, and as you start to continue to, leave level 1 and expand into level 2, like we were talking about, or keep climbing those levels. Just remember what brought you to that growth, right, and just keep yourself focused. And I think you definitely have very similar mindset to me, to where you want it all right now. You think you can have it. You probably can have more, and you could do more here. You could do more there, and really start to grow, what you're trying to grow. But I will say, and kind of what we talked about in the beginning, you have to go through these things in order to really find your niche, right? To find what maybe your role in this turns from, host to you learn about something about, being behind the scenes, right? Or whatever it may be. But I think you're doing a really, really good job of, preparing, right? See your laptop, so keep doing what you're doing, man. It's really cool to see that you got a good head on your shoulders, man. Can't wait to see where you are a year from now, 2 years from now, what college you decide to go to.
Yeah. Appreciate all
All
that,
that
bro.
good stuff,
Genuinely.
man. Yeah,
And
yeah,
best of luck to you, Fitness Factory. Everyone go check them out, Westchester, Pennsylvania.
We'll be there.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Tyler,
dog.
thanks for
Appreciate
being
it,
here,
man.
bro.
Good stuff, dude.
Motive. Peace out. I'll
See
see
you
you next
guys.
week.